and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. In case you hear like rain in the background, I am sitting in the car pickup line waiting on my son to get out of school because they got a half a day due to the hurricane that's coming. Half days suck, by the way, because the second that you drop them off, you have to come back and pick them up. These pickup lines are long. They get out at 11:10. It's 10:32, and I'm probably like the 20th, 25th person in the line. But luckily, his school car line goes fast. I would like to compare it to the Chick-fil-A drive-through line. It looks long, but you will be out in probably 5 minutes or less. So anyways, but yeah, so if you hear raindrops, that's what's going on there. Today, I just want to talk about like time management and routines. I know a couple of weeks ago, I talked about like back to school routines, and I believe like one of my earlier episodes, I just talked about getting into routines. So I just want to touch on that a little bit. So time management is really, it's a part of organization. If you don't know how to manage your time, then you're going to feel like you're always doing everything and accomplishing nothing. And I've heard people say a lot of times like, oh my gosh, it's only 24 hours in the day. I need more hours in the day. I need like an extra 2 or 3 hours. Or how do people do this? We all get the same 24 hours in the day. It's all about time management. Let's say that you did somehow miraculously get an extra 5 hours in the day. What would you do with that extra 5 hours? Like if you don't know how to manage the 24 that you currently have, then having 29 hours is not going to matter because you still don't know how to manage that. So ways that you can start like trying to figure out how to manage your time and what to do with it is by first do an audit of your time. And so what I mean by do an audit of your time, and it would probably be more fitting for Monday through Friday unless you work like a schedule where you have to work on the weekend. But most people find that they don't have a lot of time like during their work week. So if your work week is Monday through Friday, if it's Thursday through Monday, I don't know if that's 5 days or not, but I'm just throwing it out there. So look at your work week. You'll want to do, I guess, kind of two time audits. Like you'll want to look at your work week and then you'll want to look at your weekend separately. For 1 week, audit your time. Look at, okay, this is what time I get up in the morning. And this is how long it takes me to get to this place. And this is how much time it takes me to make breakfast in the morning. This is how much time I need to drop the kids off and then get to work. And you'll start to see where you may be wasting time or where you have little pockets of time that you can do different things. And so once you kind of audit your time, from there you can create your routine. You'll know that, okay, in order for me to be able to be to work by 8 o'clock, I need to leave the house at 7:15. Like for me, for instance, I know that if I want to get to work by 7:15, I need to leave my house by 6:30. And that's leaving my house. Like that's not stopping for coffee or anything like that. That's leaving my house and going straight to work. If I leave at 6:31, I'm probably not going to get to work until 7:30. But if I leave at 6:25, then I'm going to get to work at like 6:55. So you have to find those little, like my husband calls it the sweet spot. You have to find the sweet spot of when you need to leave to get to places in time so that you're maximizing the best use of your time. And then from there you can find little pockets of time where you're like, okay, I'm not doing anything at this time. Like for instance, sometimes I'll use my lunch break. If I want to read a book, I'll use my lunch break to read a book. So you say, oh, I would love to get into reading, but I don't have time to read. Well, you get 30 minutes to an hour on your lunch break. That's the time to read 1 or 2 chapters, play with his toys and not run up and down the hallway and yell and scream or come barging into the room while I'm recording, because now I'm getting it done. So then when I get home, I'll edit it. That's one way that you can kind of manage your time and that you can save time, is by auditing your routine and finding little pockets of time, because you would be so surprised how often we actually have little pockets of time that we just don't realize it because we're always go, 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 go. Also, another way to kind of manage your time is to, well, not kind of manage your time. Another way to manage your time is to learn to say no to stuff. Like a lot of times we feel like we just have to take on all the tasks and do all the things and that we can't tell people no, or that we'll feel bad or we'll feel guilty. But if you're always saying yes to something that someone else wants you to do, then that means that you're going to have to say no to something that you want to do. Even if it's just you wanting to sit on the couch and relax or watch a movie. If you tell somebody else yes, that's taking away your time. If you are looking at your time when you're doing your audit of your time, if you're realizing that the stuff on your schedule is stuff for other people that you've committed yourself to or that you said yes to, then you need to take a look at that and think, okay, could I have said no to this? Is the world going to end if I say no to this? It's probably not. So learn to say no. That's a really good time management skill. Recently, I found myself that I've kind of overcommitted myself a little bit, I guess I should say. Oh, my cousin has been fussing at me about this because I'm like, ooh, I did a thing. And she's like, what did you volunteer yourself for now, Angel? And then when I look at it, I'm like, oh, well, instead of volunteering myself for this, I should have just focused more and spent more time on something that I was already working on. So saying no and just not overcommitting yourself is a time management saver. A time saver, a time management tool and a time saver. And then do you have a question about getting organized? What about a tip or even a funny story about a time that you tried to get organized and it didn't work out, or a serious story? Send those in to me at angel@themodcosc.com, and your question, tip, or story may be shared on an upcoming episode. Creating routines for yourself. As I said, I talked about this some in my back to school episode a couple of weeks ago. And now with school kind of being back in the swing of things, and I know sports are up as well. My son has soccer twice a week. So that's school 5 days a week, soccer twice a week, coming home and trying to get him from school, get him to soccer practice, get him something to eat so that we don't have to eat out twice a week because we're trying to run back and forth to soccer. Like, you have to create a routine for that, and you have to be ready for it. So like, the soccer bag is already packed. We just actually leave it in the car. Like, when he leaves soccer practice, he takes off his cleats, he takes off his socks, he takes off his shin guards, he takes his ball, he throws it all into the gym bag, and that goes into the back of my car. He slides his Crocs on, so then the next day when it's time for practice, we already have all that stuff, so we're not looking for it. So that's part of our routine. We get him before soccer practice, and we go ahead and we try to eat dinner before soccer practice, because we realized that when he played soccer the last time and when he played baseball before, we were always getting food after practice, and then we spent a whole bunch of money eating out because we had to get food. So now we've been able to work out our schedules a little bit better as to where we can be able to get him before practice, go home and eat, do homework, and all of that. So that's part of our routine. So that's saving time, and that allows us to be able to get into bed at a decent time when we get back to soccer practice. So just creating those routines, whether it's with a sport, with school, with work, whatever it is, once you figure out what's going on and what your schedule is and how it's working, then you can incorporate those things into your routine to try to make things like a little bit easier for you. Okay, so now that we've talked about time management, I want to just talk about like perfecting your routines. So some of you may already have like routines down, or you just going back and you're used to the back to school and the sports and all of the things. And so you already have those routines that you do from year to year. Well, now it's just time to go back and take a look at those routines and see if they need to be revamped, see if something's not working anymore. Traffic patterns could have changed. The location for your kid's sport could have changed. I know my son's playing soccer at a different place than he's played and then he's done sports at in the past. So now we had to incorporate that into our routine. The distance for it is probably only like a 5-minute distance, as in 5 minutes longer than the other place was. But that's something new that we had to work into our routine because we're not used to coming that way at that time of evening. So we didn't know the traffic patterns. So you have to, so since we didn't know the traffic patterns, that meant that we actually left earlier than we needed to so that we could make sure that we were there on time. But now that we've done it a couple of times, we know what the traffic looks like at that time. So we know what time we need to leave. So therefore, we're also saving a little bit of time in our day because we're not having to rush out. We're not spending an extra 20 minutes just sitting at the soccer field when we could have been spending that extra 20 minutes doing something, so that when we get home, that's one less thing that we have to do. So once you get a routine, you're still going to have to work on it and perfect it, and think about any possible changes that have come up in the routine, especially if it's something that you've been doing for years. You just need to take a look into that, and you need to reevaluate your routine and make sure that your routine still makes sense and that it's still the best for your time management and the best for getting everything done that you need to get done. So let's recap. So do an audit of your time, find little pockets of time that you can use for something else, whether it's reading on your lunch break, journaling on your lunch break, doing yoga on your lunch break, working out on your lunch break, whatever it is that you can find little pockets of time for things that you want to do. And also take advantage of like work benefits that you may have. I know some places have gyms at work, or some places offer like lunchtime workouts. I know, for instance, my job, they actually do there's a guy at my job who runs a boot camp in the morning time, 3 days a week, and then during the school year they'll do lunchtime yoga, and then there's also a gym at my school. So I honestly have no reason not to work out because I can find those little pockets of time to be able to go either join the boot camp class and work out before work, or use my lunch break to use the workout equipment, or participate in the lunchtime yoga. I just choose not to, and then I say I don't have time for exercising, but I actually do. So that's something that I want to change in my routine. But find those pockets of time and look into if you're looking to see if your job has any of those benefits that you could take advantage of, like during your lunchtime. Tweaking and perfecting your routines to make sure that they work for you. And that will just help you to, while I'm sitting here recording this episode, I have deja vu because I have literally recorded the time management episode probably 5 or 6 times. And every time that I've recorded it, there has been an issue with it, with like editing. The episode twice just completely disappeared on me. Don't know what happened to it, but it just completely disappeared on me when I went back to edit it. There have been times that another time I edit the episode and then a whole gap of what I wanted to leave in the episode had actually just disappeared. Another time the stuff got reversed somehow, and so I've been trying to record this episode and put this episode out since probably like May. So recording it is kind of deja vu to me. And so if you hear like a lot of hesitation in it, it's because I'm trying to remember, did I already tell them this in on an episode? Have they already heard this on an episode? Or is this I'm trying, if you hear me like kind of hesitating and sounding a little bit unsure of myself, is because I'm trying to remember, did I already tell them this on an episode, or is this just me remembering from the 15,000 times that I recorded the time management episode? So if I did repeat myself on anything, I'm sorry about that. But as always, I just thank you all for listening. And I will tell you all right quick. So my husband called me out today. I was looking for my glasses. I took my glasses off to do something, and then I couldn't find my glasses. So I'm looking on my nightstand, and I'm looking in the bathroom, and of course I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. So I call him back in the room. I'm like, I need help. I can't find my glasses, and I can't see to find my glasses. And he was like, they're right there. And I was like, oh, he's like, guess you didn't put something back where you were supposed to, huh? I was like, okay, cool. You got me. So yeah, y'all, he caught me slipping. And he also called me out about a time that I left my keys on the counter. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing today. You're calling me out. So I'm like, cool, I appreciate that. Just want to let you guys know that even as organized as I am, and as much as I try to put stuff back where it belongs, and I try to keep up with my own organization skills, that sometimes I slip up. So we all slip up. just remember to give yourself grace and don't let your husband catch you slipping. I will talk to you all.
Thank you for listening. Please make sure to follow and rate the podcast whenever you listen.